The following is an Outdoor Channel original production.
Wild animals and wild places. They're more than a picture. They're inspiration, excitement, and adventure. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of our great outdoors.
Let me tell you something. Everybody I write tickets to for this, they use the same excuse. They're gonna die.
We always want to leave it better than we found it, and this is a beautiful example of it right here.
If you go out there and start a ruckus with that officer, you're going downtown.
I believe
That's all I'm telling you right now.
In addition to bordering 4 of the 5 Great Lakes, the state of Michigan boasts 36,000 miles of rivers and streams. With access to so much water, a fisherman has abundant opportunities to catch several species of fish year-round. In Michigan's District 7, Officer Chris Simpson is part of a group patrol of about a dozen officers that's watching anglers target whitefish on a cold December evening.
We're gonna have a group of plainclothes officers supported by uniformed officers. And basically we're gonna put our plainclothes officers right into the fishermen that are there. They will be fishing amongst the people on the piers and breakwalls tonight, looking for people who retain foul hook fish.
For this patrol, the officers are focusing on 3 channels all along the shore of Lake Michigan. One in Whitehall from the Big Lake to White Lake, one in Muskegon to Muskegon Lake, and a 3rd channel to the Grand River in Grand Haven. Typically, the Grand Haven area has the least amount of trouble. Officer Simpson will begin his night in Whitehall, while Officers Ivan Perez and Kerry Foster will head to Muskegon.
Patience is a virtue in this job. It takes a lot of patience sometimes. Literally, there's times where you'll sit on somebody for hours on end to make one case in the end. So, yeah, we do a lot of surveillance, looking at people from distances with binoculars. But yeah, this is a big part of the job, sitting and waiting.
For C.O. Simpson, his wait is short. After sitting in his truck for less than an hour, he pulls over a vehicle that was described to him by a plainclothes officer who's fishing the channel. The driver of this vehicle has kept a snagged fish.
How you doing?
Good.
Conservation officer.
Yeah.
You guys need to talk to you. You know I need to talk to you?
Well, I put one in the cooler that was gonna die.
Yeah, it was foul hook.
Yeah, but it was gonna die, man. And if you need to write me a ticket for that one, I understand.
I do.
I do.
Who's with you?
My little guy.
Okay.
12-year-old son.
All right. You have your fishing license with you?
Me?
Yep.
Sure.
They're not gonna die if they're foul hook. How bad is it?
It was bad.
Okay, we'll take a look at it. How many fish you guys got?
We got 2. There were guys all around us doing some really bad stuff, sir.
Throw them back.
I think, yeah, but man, that's horrible. That's not right.
But you know what?
You got to do your job.
Well, let me tell you something.
You.
Everybody I write tickets to for this, they use the same excuse. They're gonna die. Everybody says that.
Did you also see me kick back 3 fish tonight?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I don't know. I haven't talked to the officers down there if they saw you kick back 8 fish. They just told me you kept some. You're fishing next to a group of officers down there.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, they're both got pretty good snag marks in them.
That wasn't us.
That wasn't you.
Nope.
Here's the deal. I mean, we get constant complaints here.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
We're pretty much sick of it. Okay.
Yep, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You know, if you foul hook them, throw them back.
Yeah,
you know?
I get it.
And I'll tell you, there's a group of guys that skin dive and spear in Muskegon, and I've talked to them. The bottom isn't littered with dead fish like everybody claims.
Okay.
There may be a couple down there, but matter of fact, I've seen their videos.
Yep.
It's not there.
Hold up, fellas. Back up in front of my lights for a minute, would you? Yep. Guys, all three of you, back up in front of my lights here.
Meanwhile, 20 miles to the south, CO Ivan Perez encounters 3 fishermen that he'd gotten word from undercover officers to look for.
How'd you guys do for fish?
We got our limit, but we got a good
Where are you guys parked?
right here.
Right here?
Yeah.
In the truck or what?
Yeah, behind that pickup.
Let's move on over there. You guys all got your licenses tonight?
Here, you have to check my driver's license number.
Oh, okay. You didn't bring yours with you?
No.
Okay.
got
You
mine.
got a license?
Yeah, I gotta get my
All right.
ID. I gotta dig it out.
Did you guys all come together?
Yeah.
No, well, we rode separate, but we followed.
Oh, okay.
We got out of work and came down here.
What's that?
We got out of work and came down here.
Oh, gotcha. Where are you guys from?
Here, Rapids.
Oh, okay. What time did you guys get out here?
6?
Oh, okay. All right. Is this your vehicle here?
Yeah.
Any fishing here, fellas?
Thank you. Didn't feel good.
Let's come around, get out of the wind.
Yeah, that's killer out
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I bet. All right. Well, let's take a look at your licenses, and then we're going to take a look at some fish, all right?
Problem?
Well, we'll see. How many fish you guys catch?
We ain't got 36, I promise you
Okay.
that. But
How many
we
of
ain't
them?
fitting 36.
How
in that
many of them are snagged?
We didn't keep any snag. There's
Let
some
me
with
ask you
snag
one more
marks.
time. Let me ask you one more time.
I didn't keep any snag fish. There's fish in there with snag marks on them that we caught,
Okay.
but all of our fish were hooked in the mouth.
So you were keeping snagged fish then?
No.
Fish that were snagged
No.
prior? What you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lake whitefish are highly sought after by recreational anglers, but are caught in greater numbers by commercial fishermen who harvest millions of pounds of whitefish each year from the Great Lakes.
Whitefish populations in the Great Lakes are extremely valuable. They're a native fish to the Great Lakes, but also they're extremely prized and valued for their table fare. They're very soft-rayed, soft-bodied fishes.
Whitefish are attracted to flashy silver objects in the water, so anglers will frequently utilize jigging spoons and other jigging methods when fishing for them.
Whitefish tend to feed on plankton and small invertebrates, so their mouth is small and tender. So oftentimes they're hard to hook with a hook and line. You know, we encourage anglers to capitalize on this using legal methods, but also to recognize this is a very valuable population in the Great Lakes, and whitefish at this time are very susceptible to poor angler behavior.
What's gonna happen? I'm seizing your cooler, I'm seizing your fish, and I'm seizing that rod, and we're gonna call it a night. But lesson learned: if you come up here,
I understand, sir. Well,
don't do it
just down
again.
here,
Okay.
man.
All right, hang on 1 second. You have a seat in the car.
Okay.
Michigan Conservation Officer Chris Simpson has pulled over a fisherman who another officer observed catching and keeping a lake whitefish that was snagged or not hooked in the mouth. The angler said he kept the fish because he didn't expect it to survive.
This is typically what we see. You know, first thing out of his mouth is, "I kept one fish because it was gonna die," and that's everybody's excuse. Is, well, I kept a snagged fish because it was gonna die, and it's not the truth. A lot of these fish go back in the water. The funny thing is, as you can see, there's 2 fish in here. Both have large snag marks on them, and he claims this one was going to die, so he kept it, but he claims he caught that one and he didn't snag it, so obviously it was still swimming, it didn't die. He's with his 12-year-old son, trying to take his son out fishing. Seems like a pretty decent guy, but you know, how do you let one go for doing the same thing you're probably gonna write a bunch of other ones tickets for? I am citing you for the possessing illegal whitefish. Here's the thing, I appreciate you taking your son out fishing. Good job,
he loves
but
it.
just teach him the right way. I mean, and
you know what?
You seem like a decent guy. You probably made a mistake, okay?
Sir, here's the thing. We kick probably 40 fish back a year. That
Okay.
one was flopping around in front of us for a long time. And You saw we had 2 fish, man. We caught 7.
Okay. Well, I don't know how many.
No.
So.
I'm not arguing with you. Please, no, I'm not arguing.
Okay.
With you. I'm just saying that we do it the right way.
Okay.
And that one just, it kept doing it, and I even said to him, I didn't mean to touch you. I even said to my son, I said, you know what? This thing's not gonna make it. I'll take a ticket if I get a ticket on that fish. And you know what?
Well, you called it.
Premonition.
All right. Here's the deal.
And I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to do anything. So.
Learning experience. Don't do it again.
And you know what?
Right.
I appreciate what you said about my son. So.
Well, you know,
yeah,
I appreciate you taking your 12-year-old son fishing. I mean, it's a good way to bring your kid up.
In early 2018, the Michigan DNR and the National Wild Turkey Federation introduced the state's 3rd turkey track site at the Berry State Game Area.
The turkey tracks is really set up to be in some prime turkey habitat, and then where there's a trail that moves through it, going from the parking lot to a food plot to back by the river to habitat areas where we're doing oak management. And so it's a place where you might be able to hear and see turkeys.
Michigan's turkey track sites are all on state-owned land and provide the public with an opportunity for hunting, hiking, and bird watching.
It's important for our generation that are able to do this type of work now to do whatever we can to make it inviting for the next generation. We always want to leave it better than we found it, and this is a beautiful example of it right here.
If you're introducing, you know, your kids, you know, here's a place that you can walk along. They can kind of play along on the trail. You could see a turkey track on the ground. You could say, well, here's an acorn, and this is what an acorn looks like. And not make it too serious, but still expose them to the outdoors and the enjoyment that we all get from being outside.
The Berry County Turkey Track site covers 22,000 acres. It is the result of a collaborative effort between the DNR, the National Wild Turkey Federation, Michigan's Iron Bell Trail, and the North Country Trail Association.
This highlights the habitat work that's been done for wild turkeys. It highlights the restoration of wild turkeys in Michigan, and it shows how everybody working together can really produce an outstanding, you know, great outcome.
Many Michigan conservation officers are hunters and anglers who enjoy spending time outdoors, even when they're not on duty. They like to see people succeed in catching fish and taking game, but they also want everyone to follow the rules. In Michigan's District 7, Conservation Officer Chris Simpson is one of a dozen officers patrolling channels along Lake Michigan for whitefish. Some of the officers are out of uniform and fishing along the shore to observe other anglers.
A lot of times they'll bring them up in the net. They're obviously foul hooked. They're coming up tail first, they're coming up belly first. You can tell that they're not hooked in the mouth. Our officers will watch them as they catch these foul hook fish. Keep an eye on them to determine whether or not they're gonna keep the fish or they're gonna return it to the water. There are a fair number of people that do the right thing and return the fish to the water, but we do have a large number of people that don't do the right thing, and they tend to take those foul hook fish and throw them in their buckets, throw them in their coolers, and keep them.
Officer Simpson started his evening patrol in the city of Whitehall, but with the fishing activity slowing down, he heads to Muskegon, where there are still plenty of fishermen targeting whitefish. On his way, CO Simpson stops to check some anglers he observes taking pictures of their catch.
Everybody got a fishing license?
Yes, you want to see him?
Yeah, go ahead and throw that one back.
Yeah, be right back.
You guys just trolling husky jerks?
No.
Oh, really? Don't forget your phone up here, whoever that is.
Yes.
Many other boats on the lake?
There's only 2 that we,
Wrong state.
Hurry.
You been fishing much?
Yeah, a couple times. These guys have been fishing more than I have.
We fished
This is
over
probably about
Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
This is the 3rd time we've been out since Thanksgiving.
In a boat or casting from the shore?
In a boat.
Do you do any better around Thanksgiving?
We caught 16 total fish with 3 guys. One was a throwback.
Really? Wow.
And then the other
Good
night
night.
we caught, I don't know, 8.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been doing good.
All right, good enough.
You say anything else?
No, it's, take a look. All right. Have a good night, guys.
Hey, you too. Thanks,
Yeah.
sir.
Good
Thanks.
luck.
Yeah, thank you.
CO Simpson does not encounter or observe any violations during this check, so he returns to his patrol truck to continue his drive to Muskegon, where officers Ivan Perez and Kerry Foster are interviewing 3 suspects who were observed keeping snagged fish.
So let me talk to you guys here for a minute. The snagged fish that I see, I'm going to be setting aside.
Okay.
Because you were witnessed by an officer keeping snagged fish.
Okay.
You understand?
I understand.
You understand what I'm saying?
understand.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? And no problem with that
No
right
problem,
now,
sir.
right? Okay. You didn't throw them all back. And to tell you the truth, I know what whitefish fishing is like. And for every 10 that you catch, maybe 2 are in the mouths. Where's the gear you were using?
Right there, sir.
I just want to see if the gap's about the same. Oh yeah. Yep. Okay. All I want is the truth.
Yeah.
So what's the deal?
No, none of mine were snagged. I was throwing them back.
Okay, then who was snagging them?
I couldn't tell you.
You couldn't? You never saw one come in snagged, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
Okay.
snagged fish.
And you're saying right now in front of me, just so you understand, it's illegal to lie to an officer when he's conducting an investigation. That's a crime. I want to make sure that you're telling me the truth. No, it's not bothering me. I want to make sure that you're telling me the truth before you walk away. That you did not see anybody keep a snagged fish. Is that your story right now in front of me? Okay.
How many snagged fish did you throw in the little cooler there?
I caught 5 fish. I landed 5 fish tonight.
Yeah.
I kept 2.
Okay.
I took 3 back.
Okay. So were the 2 snagged or?
Nope, right in the mouth.
Right in the
Last
mouth?
one and another one. They both hit it on the drop. They
Okay.
both hit it before it even got to bottom.
Okay.
My line stopped early and it.
Where were the other
and they
3
were
done?
Right there. Huh?
Where were the other 3 at?
Tail, whatever. I mean, they were snagged.
Okay.
I threw them back. I mean, I was having a slow night, and I knew you guys come up here.
Yeah.
If I'm having a slow night, I'm not going down for 3 snagged fish.
Okay.
Go ahead and each grab a fish, throw them in the back of my truck right now. Just throw them right on the bed of the truck there. Come over here and sit in my truck for a minute, would you? Now, I understand you being upset or whatever. I got to do my job.
Oh, I understand. I'm upset at that guy.
No. That officer,
understand.
it's not that guy. That officer, right?
I never seen a badge.
Well, I'm telling you who he is.
I believe you. I
But that, no, I don't want to argue with you either. But I'm not going to let you go out there and confront that officer, or you're going to end up in jail.
Lake whitefish live in deep water, sometimes at depths over 200 feet. To spawn, they head to the shores of lakes and around islands, where they are in much shallower water and become an easier target for recreational anglers. Their spawning season is usually from mid-October to early December, and they almost always spawn at night.
They'll move into 2-3 feet of water to spawn. And part of the reasoning is they want to get their eggs in protected habitats, where once the eggs incubate all winter long, and once they hatch in the spring, they want the larvae to have the spring productivity to kind of have food availability and grow.
Michigan conservation officers Ivan Perez and Kerry Foster are investigating 3 fishermen who snagged and kept whitefish. Unbeknownst to the anglers, an undercover officer observed them while they fished. All 3 men deny keeping any fish they shouldn't have.
Right here is a really good example. A big chunk right there. Right up under here, you can see right there, nice big chunk marks out of there. So they're all definitely snagged fish.
Some guys will tell you, if you catch one in the mouth and you gotta look it over, and if it's got a snag mark, you gotta throw it back. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And they're like, yeah, if it's even got a snag mark, you gotta throw it back. Well, I guess we'll be doing that from now on. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even really look over the fish. I see some scratches.
I'm never buying a whitefish. I'm done fishing.
You're quitting?
I'm done. Yeah.
I'll buy your stuff tomorrow.
Yep.
We get that bone off. All right.
Officers Perez and Foster write citations for all 3 fishermen for possessing fish that were taken illegally.
Hey, be careful out there. Yeah. They're being picky tonight.
Make sure you're
Picky? There's nothing picky about it, fellas. Boy, you guys are not helping your cause at all with these statements.
Took all my rods.
What you got? What I'm saying though is that everything you're saying, right? When we go to court, we're going to say, well, this is what they said, and this is what they said, and this is what they said. So you guys want to keep yapping it up? Go for it, man. You guys want to keep yapping it up? I'm just doing my job, fellas.
No, dude, no, we're not mad at you. No, don't think for a second we're upset at you at all.
I'm mad at that guy.
We're both mad.
Hey, he's an officer, so you watch your mouth about him.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
Yeah, he just wasn't in a suit. I'm sorry, I just threw me out. I mean, if he was in a suit, I wouldn't have done that.
Well, yeah, if he was in his uniform, you wouldn't be snagging either.
Are we all good to go?
Yeah, you're good.
Hey, thank you.
All right,
appreciate
man.
you guys, we really do.
Well, good.
We really do.
Good.
We apologize that this came like this tonight, but I really appreciate the DNR in our state, and you guys do a hell of a job.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. We'll see ya.
In this case, all 3 fishermen pled guilty and each paid a court-ordered fine of $220. For Michigan Conservation Officer Ivan Perez, it's already been a busy night. He's working on a group patrol for whitefish enforcement and interviewed and written tickets to 3 fishermen who were observed snagging fish by an undercover officer.
Probably for every 10 you catch, maybe 1 is actually caught in the mouth. The rest are snagged or foul hooked, as we call it. Michigan law states that you have to throw back any foul hooked fish. Fortunately, there's individuals that don't pay attention to that, and obviously if you don't throw back a foul hooked fish, you're not giving the resource the fairness to get out there and spawn and make more whitefish. So that's why we try to enforce that heavily.
Officers Perez and Carrie Foster initiated traffic stop on a vehicle that had been described to them by an officer out of uniform who was fishing the pier. The undercover officer knows that at least 1 fish kept by someone in this vehicle was foul hooked.
I'll be stopped just down the road, headed back into town. What's up, fellas? Conservation officer, how you doing? You got any fish in the back?
Up on the cooler.
Okay, let's take a look, okay? Were you fishing today, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Sea fishing license and IDs for both of you when you get a chance. How many fish you guys got tonight?
I think there is 3 in there.
3? Okay, yep. Can you open it up?
Yep. What's your needs? Yep.
Only 3?
There you go, 3. Trying to get out of the wind here a little. So the reason we stopped you guys is that we've got undercover officers out on the pier, okay, over by the Silver Sides.
Yeah.
And one saw you bring in the fish tail first, then keep it.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, do you have a dispute with that at all, sir?
No.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking that fish, okay, and I'm going to be issuing you a citation for possession of a foul hooked fish. You got to throw those back when they're foul hooked. You understand?
Okay, yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, all right. Go ahead and have a seat in your car, and I'll be with you in a minute, okay? All right. Did you catch your fish right? Because he already admitted to catching this one wrong, so.
I believe so, yeah.
Well, he was caught in the fish.
It was right here.
Okay, that's close. That's close enough to me, okay?
I'll be honest with you, it was flopping around like crazy, but I did see one real
Okay,
quick there.
all right. Hey, buddy, come here for a minute. You caught one too, right?
Yep.
Can you explain that, Mark?
Can't explain.
Let me tell you something. We got an officer out on the walkway there, right? And he saw the snagged fish come in. So, do you want to tell me what happened?
I mean, all I can say is that the hook fell in the net, and I wasn't sure where it was at.
Okay, but well, look at that. What do you think that is? Because I know that was the guy. That's the guy in the blue that brought it in, right? But look at that right there. Okay. You know what they call that, right? A snagged fish, right?
Well, I mean, there's so many people with so many hooks. I mean, I don't know who hooked it.
Well, you hooked it. You brought it in,
well,
right?
I know, but I'm just saying it could have been hooked easily earlier.
Really? Okay. Well, I don't see anything obvious around the mouth, guy.
I don't know. Looks like a lot of blood up there. But...
Does it? Okay. You understand that you can't keep foul-hooked fish, right?
Understood.
Okay, and right now my witness on the pier only saw, actually, the gentleman in the blue keep a foul-hooked fish, right? And he's admitted to it. So even though I have a strong suspicion that you foul-hooked this, right? I can't really prove it unless I got an eyewitness down there, which I don't right now. But I want you to know that I've been doing this long enough to know that when I see a fish like this with that kind of mark on it, I know that it was foul-hooked and probably kept in that fashion. You understand?
I understand.
Okay.
Officer Perez confiscates the fish that another officer observed being caught illegally. In this case, the court-ordered fine is $220. Upon checking the backgrounds of the fishermen, Officer Perez learns over the radio that for one of them, this isn't the first time he's chatted with a conservation officer.
Prior for a snag or attempt to snag a fish in Mason County, he was convicted on that in 2004.
Clear on that, thank you. Now, you've had a history with us, haven't you?
History?
Huh?
History?
Yeah, you've been caught before doing something with us? Was it for a snagged fish back in 2004, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It was possession of foul-hooked fish.
Okay, well, you've been down that road, right? Don't want to do that again, right? No. All right, have a good night.
The state of Michigan offers tremendous opportunity for catching fish with over 35,000 miles of rivers and streams and several game fish species, including bass, walleye, muskie, perch, pike, trout, and bluegill. With so much water and so many fish to pursue, the Law Enforcement Division of the DNR prides itself on protecting this resource. In District 7, Conservation Officers Ivan Perez and Carrie Foster have contacted some fishermen who are in the parking lot next to the pier where they were fishing. Plainclothes officers who are fishing alongside other fishermen alerted Officers Perez and Foster to these two fishermen.
How about this one?
Sure, we threw a lot back.
Yeah, okay. Oh, look at that. That's a good one. Put that one over here with this bunch, would you?
That's not a snag, I swear to God.
You swear to God?
I swear it.
Are you a religious man?
No.
He tries not
Oh, okay.
This is our first time ever coming here.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I know that everybody down there is talking that you guys are here. We know that you're here. That's why.
And one of our guys said that the chemical red hoodies that found one on the side and kept it.
Which looks like this one.
Like that one or the other one.
Yeah. Which one was it?
I'm the guy in the red hoodie.
Right.
Oh, sorry. The biggest one is the one that I caught.
Okay. So that's the one then.
That's the one that's snagged on the side. That's not the mouth right there.
Right. It was not snagged there. I'm telling you.
Well,
yeah.
What's gonna happen is we've got an eyewitness that says yes, and it's one of our guys. You said you know that you got us out, that we're out there, right?
Yeah.
We're not out here by accident, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah. No, like they told us that you guys were here. So
right, but
obviously anything that we were gonna snag, like we're not gonna.
Well, but obviously they saw him bring that one in and keep it, and you must have helped him. You must have helped him net it.
Oh yeah, I netted them off.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
like the majority of them, like by the time we got it up over the side, I mean the hook come out of them by that.
Well, I mean, so you need to be more vigilant, because obviously that one was snagged on the side, and you guys decided to keep it. I mean, it's just that simple. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I understand that.
Okay.
But, I mean, a lot of them, you pull them.
Well, then if you're going to bring them up and not pay attention to how they're hooked, and then you see one with the snag mark, what do you think you should do with that?
Probably toss it back.
Right, which didn't happen this time. And obviously they saw it come back. They saw it come in snagged, and then you guys decided to keep it. Dude, when you catch a fish that's snagged, if it's in the mouth, it's zipping right in, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you got to fight it, you know there's something wrong.
Right.
So let's not even go there. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, if that one's coming in freaking fighting hard, you know what's happening.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't have been kept, okay? Just the bottom line.
Yes, sir, I agree.
Okay. Well, we'd received word, my partner here, Officer Foster, had received word that these two individuals, by description, were coming off the pier. One of our undercover officers was next to him and saw that the fish was brought in by the side. Obviously, everybody we've encountered tonight denies right offhand, that they're keeping any foul-hooked fish. until they're confronted with the fact that we do have an undercover officer that was out there. Even this guy admitted that he knew that the DNR was out, everybody was talking about it, but still decided to try to keep the fish and bring it in. And so now he has to deal with the consequences of that.
In this case, the court-ordered fine is $185.
I don't understand though. How is that considered a snag fish with that snag?
Well, because we have a witness for you. We didn't see the witness with him.
That one was very well snagged, but we don't have anybody that can say, yes, that one was snagged. He said the big one out of the group, too. So, camouflage with the red hoodie.
That's me,
and the
I
big
guess,
fish,
huh?
so
Yep.
everything fits.
Cool.
The explosion of the wild turkey population in Michigan is likely the state's best restoration of a particular wild species. In 1977, licensed hunters killed 400 birds. Today, the average harvest is over 30,000 turkeys. With such great opportunities for turkey hunting, the National Wild Turkey Federation has teamed up with the Michigan DNR to distribute seed for food plots to hunters at a discounted rate.
The National Wild Turkey Federation, the DNR are involved with trying to get habitat on the ground, and the very best that you can get. And so the Turkey Federation has been very good at getting seed from a variety of sources, and then trying to focus that, trying to get that into private landowners' hands, but also, to our state areas. We utilize seed that has been provided by the Turkey Federation too.
Anyone who is a member of the NWTF can receive the seed at the discounted rate. The distribution of the seed is all done by volunteers, and distributors cannot profit off the seed, but may charge for it to recoup their costs for storing the seed and for shipping and handling. The program can be beneficial to landowners regardless of how much property they have.
I think my bill is $1,130 for what should be probably close to $9,000 worth of seed altogether.
The key is to get the habitat on the ground, and the key also is to make sure that the private landowners understand what's the best habitat, what's the best seeds to put on their soils at their location. So we work with soil conservation districts in doing that as well. These are really great programs, and this is what moves wild turkeys and wildlife management ahead into the future. And we really have to do it. No one else is.
There's a couple guys that come here and they own 5 acres, and that's their getaway. That's their happy time, and they love going out there with, a rake or a 4-wheeler and spending all day out there doing their food plot. And with this program, it makes it affordable. It really does, and it gives them the opportunity. And that's what I do love being part of.
Michigan Conservation Officer Chris Simpson started his evening patrol in Whitehall, but with activity there waning, he heads for Muskegon to help officers there in patrolling a pier that's still busy where anglers are targeting whitefish. Officers Ivan Perez and Kerry Foster meet up with Officer Simpson to bring him up to date on the information they received from the undercover officers that are fishing alongside other fishermen.
If he caught one and it was snagged, he'd throw it back, but if he caught one and it came in and the hook fell out, he would just keep it. So I told him we were just going to head down there. He's going to head back to the truck with Keo. They're going to be off the pier, and we're just going to go in straight in at the station, I think.
So we're looking for...
There's a guy with the black and gray Bass Pro.
Okay.
His partner's got the camo top and bottom. Right. They're both putting fish in the bag.
Got them.
Then there's a guy that has an orange hat, red pole, and it's supposed to be a red bucket, right? He's caught at least one foul hook that he knows of. Then there's a guy farther down with red pants that we're not sure about. Okay. So it sounds like the first two we won't want to get a.
That's the guys you got the complaint on, right?
Yeah,
probably.
Got to be.
Yeah.
So I figure we'll just go right in between this Coast Guard station, just shoot right straight in.
Yeah, that's cool.
With a good idea of the 4 fishermen to be on the lookout for, 3 officers head to the pier to initiate contact with each of them.
Red pants, red pole.
Officer Simpson contacts the fishermen on the west end of the pier, while Officer Perez addresses the 2 to the east.
Is that good or no?
Nope.
Officer Foster assists the other 2 officers.
How many fish did you snag tonight?
Roll back.
You know you didn't. They're in the black bag over here. Go get them. Go get them now. That your tackle box?
Yes.
Where's the rest of your fish?
I need to talk to you about something. We've had a conservation officer out here watching you guys fish, and we know that a few of your fish came up snagged. Okay.
Did they really?
Yeah. We've got. Yeah. So we'll discuss that in a minute. We'll try to pick out the ones here that are obviously snagged. Okay. And then we'll discuss what we're going to do about it. Okay.
Okay.
What's up?
Is that one legal?
Well, yeah. There's no size limit on them. Oh, as far as the mouth goes, yeah, that's good enough.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, what you got? There's only one in there.
Hooks are too big.
Yep, flat thread.
I don't know.
What's the maximum size?
3/8.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this back to my truck. It's just over here. You can grab your gear and you can come back and talk to me over there, okay? Just watch your step.
Yep.
Grab your rod. Who's net? Who's net?
Grab your gear and
grab your net. Grab your gear.
come back to our trucks with us, okay?
Hey, drop your rods and your net
Put your
right
gear
in there.
here. Yep.
Yep. You gotta run back out. Look good there.
Yeah, see how many fish they got
I'll
there.
go with you.
I think this one's okay. So right now we got one for sure, okay? Let's go ahead and throw these back in your bucket.
Officer Ivan Perez is part of a group patrol watching anglers targeting whitefish in early December. In this case, the court-ordered fine is $210. As a part of the same patrol, Officers Carrie Foster and Chris Simpson are checking the vehicle of two fishermen who a plainclothes officer observed keeping foul-hooked fish.
How many bags are in there? How many fish?
I'd say I have about 10 probably.
10 in there?
In the white collar.
Okay.
These are all supposedly his.
You know what the limit is?
Over there.
You think you're under that?
Well, we came yesterday. So, my understanding is okay to us 24th for today. That's midnight. I think I have closed probably, I don't know, 11 or 12.
And you're saying you guys were here yesterday. Where'd you stay?
No, I didn't mean yesterday like today is Friday. I mean yesterday is Thursday because it's past midnight.
Well, yeah, it is past midnight.
Yeah.
So you've been here all night.
We got here about, I don't know, 7 o'clock.
So you caught all these fish yesterday when you arrived and you kept fishing one fishing trip. Okay. And these are all out of that cooler?
Yes, those were all in that cooler.
The limit for whitefish in Michigan is 12. This fisherman is claiming that since it's after midnight, he should be allowed to have 24 fish.
All right, let's go back over to the truck. You guys understand what the problem is? You got a few problems. You know what the problem is? Number one, you can't snag fish. If they're foul hooked, they got to go back in the water. Number two, you've got too many, way too many. Even though you're right, but you know the only way you can have more than that day's possession is if they're frozen or canned. They're not frozen and they're not canned. Frozen or canned is how you get 2 days possession. Okay. And the third issue is you've got illegal gear because your hooks are too big. You change those hooks out. Those aren't the hooks that came on that lure. Okay, right? You put bigger hooks on it. You can't do that.
I think that one I bought it from one of the best ones.
Not with those hooks on it. Those hooks are way too big. That's not a standard hook. If you come to Muskegon, you got to be on your best behavior, okay? We get a lot of complaints down here. We work this quite a bit. So when you get caught in the wrong, like you guys got caught tonight with too many fish, snagging fish, you're gonna lose everything you brought to Muskegon with you. It ain't worth it, okay? So You come over here, you're gonna snag a lot of fish. Make sure they go back in the water, okay? All right, guys, hang on, we'll be right with you. No doubt they knew what they were doing because they took fish back to the truck to try to get rid of the evidence of the over limit. Their gear is illegal, too many fish, snagging fish.
Your subject is nil and clear out of Sterling Heights and has 2 priors. One in 2004 for take sturgeon during a closed season, convicted St. Clair County. And then in 2006 out of Manistee County for retaining a foul hooked fish, also convicted.
I'm clear, thanks.
Wonderful.
So here's a guy who's been convicted for this before. He's got 2 prior fish violations for illegally harvesting fish, and now we're here a 3rd time dealing with the same issue. So apparently he's a slow learner.
The court-ordered fine for each of these 2 fishermen was $160 and seizure of their fishing rods. All fish confiscated during this Whitefish Patrol were donated to the West Michigan Teen Challenge, a faith-based rehab program for people struggling with substance abuse.
Best lessons are learned the hard way sometimes. Have a good night, gentlemen.
We've got 18 illegal deer that we're looking at. And on your search warrant, you may notice that the deer are labeled with a number, 16-1, 14-2. That's a number that I've assigned to them based on the year and what buck he took, what number that year he took. You're gonna probably find other deer when you're searching that are gonna be questionable. What happened here, what happened there? If you find those, note those. Don't take them unless you know for sure that they're illegal, but note those, and we'll try through the interview process to determine whether they're illegal or not.
Michigan conservation officers perform duties to protect the state's natural resources and keep the citizens of Michigan safe. Occasionally, COs will spend many months or even years researching a case or suspect to make sure people who commit crimes are brought to justice. Frequently, after this in-depth police work, conservation officers must utilize search warrants to proceed towards a resolution of these complex cases. District 5 Officer Casey Pullum is leading a multi-district investigation where he and his team must serve search warrants to gather evidence. CO Pullum has been working this case for more than 3 months after another officer initiated the case and passed it along to Officer Pullum.
We got a suspect here that has taken multiple deer over the course of many years. The records we have go back to 2012. So we're going to be looking for all those deer that he took without licenses. We've got pretty good evidence that he did not purchase license or he purchased a license after the fact. Whatever the case, they're illegal deer. So hopefully today we can get into these houses. We got GPS location on where these deer should be based on cell phone records and such, and be able to collect that evidence.
In Michigan's District 9, there are 3 different residences
Please search warrant!
where Officer Pullum and his team intend to serve such warrants in Genesee County.
Based on talking with other veteran officers, this is one of the largest search warrants in a number of years that our department's done. Obviously, we've done equivalent in the past, but it doesn't happen that often for our department. So I'm eager that we're going to be successful in prosecuting this case. We can obtain the evidence and then prosecuting the case later on.
CO Pullum's team consists of almost 20 officers, including lieutenants, sergeants, and detectives. They want to arrive at 3 Genesee County residences at the exact same time.
If we execute one search warrant, our suspect kind of gets an idea that we are looking for some evidence, and so that evidence may come up missing if it's not at that location and maybe at a different location that we already have a search warrant for. So we wanted to execute those search warrants simultaneously. Almost have a little bit of a surprise effect to make sure that none of our evidence did come up missing.
The first residence to which Officer Pullum is heading is the home of the suspect's girlfriend and where it's believed the suspect is currently living. Upon arrival, the COs determine that no one is home but the door is unlocked. And since they have a search warrant for this home, the officers begin the process of executing their warrant and looking for evidence. At the same time that Officer Pullum gets to the home of the suspect's girlfriend, other officers arrive at the home of the suspect's parents and to a home owned by the suspect but believed to be vacant. No one is home at either of these residences, which are next door to each other. The suspect's parents' home is unlocked, so the officers proceed with their search for evidence. At the other residence, the door is locked, and the officers check keys they found to see if any of them will unlock the locked residence.
Negative. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's been drilled out.
Maybe we should probably drum up that locksmith, huh?
White-tailed deer hunting is the most popular outdoor activity for outdoorsmen in Michigan. But after that season's over, people still want to get outside. One way to do that is by going ice fishing. In Michigan's District 2, Conservation Officer Pat Hartzig is checking ice shacks in late February and offering fishing tips to some of the anglers that he encounters.
You guys are in the right spot. I mean, this is, so the mouth of the river's right there where they all spawn, so they're all staging right here until that water gets warm enough, and then they'll go. I mean, don't be afraid to put tip-ups in 8 feet of water.
That's what he's saying after dark. He's like, there's a hump back there.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, you guys got like a Navionics or something on your phones? Yeah, just look at it. I mean, that guy fishes out here a lot, so. Yeah, we just see him all the time. It's a lot of ice.
And it's not even honeycomb.
This stuff stays really good. All right, guys, well, good luck. Thanks, we'll see ya. Conservation officer. Anyone in here? How's it going? Whoa. There's nobody in those ice shacks, and there's lines in the water at each of them. And there's a tip-up outside, so I don't see anyone else around here. There's another shack there with a guy in it.
Officer Hartzig eventually finds the tent with fishermen responsible for the unattended lines.
Any fish with us today? All right. How long you guys been in here for?
Got here yesterday.
No, I mean like eat lunch. Hour? Okay. Warming up in this one. Let's get some gloves and a coat on. We're gonna take a walk here. A little chilly in there, starting to freeze up some, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you don't get the heater in, it really ices up quick. They've been all coming on jigging wraps, guys?
Slab coming on anything.
Even the short ones?
No.
All right. So here's my thing. We've got the lines in the shacks. They're in the water fishing, right? And you guys aren't in there.
Yeah.
So I'm driving around, like, is it those guys? No, those Wisconsin guys I already talked to, and then I see you guys peek out of here.
They talked to us?
No, I talked to them earlier. You guys said you're in here for about an hour?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. You can't leave your lines unattended, okay? So reading in the rule book, it's got to be line in immediate attendance, which is, you know, tip up I don't have an issue with, because you see it, the flag goes up, you guys can peek out and be like, oh yeah, cool, I got a flag, and you're going to get it. But you can't see those lines in the tent. You know what I'm saying?
Occasionally, conservation officers in Michigan do a lot of legwork on a suspect in order to secure search warrants to gather evidence. In Michigan's District 9, Officer Casey Pullum is leading a multi-district investigation where he's obtained warrants for an individual suspected of shooting several deer without proper licenses.
The subject that lives down here, and Burton has a cabin up in the Mile area, and most of the deer that are poached or illegally taken came from that area.
I had the evidence. I didn't have any contact with my suspect. I knew where he lived. I knew kind of where he hunted, but that was about it. So we needed to work on developing some more evidence with that, and that's where the search warrants came in.
Officer Pullum's the lead investigator on this case. Basically, he's, over the course of time, he's recovered a number of photos, a lot of backstory, finalized some search warrants to get us into these houses. Once he got us into these locations, I contacted Lieutenant Joe Molnar of the Detroit District down here and requested his help and his personnel, along with our Special Investigative Unit and some of our detectives to assist in executing the search warrant.
Officers have warrants to search 3 residences. No one is home at any of them, and for 2 of them, the COs entered through unlocked doors. For the third residence, the house that's owned by the primary suspect but was believed to be vacant,
Hey, didn't hide a key in there.
officers gained entry after utilizing the aid of a locksmith. They were not in the residence very long.
We've been looking for all these illegal parts to the illegal deer cases, but while we were in there, we found a whole lot of grow operation materials, grow lights, and even some packaged possible marijuana product. So based on that, we've already cleared out. We didn't find anything under our search warrant parameters, so now we're waiting for the MSP narcotics team to get here because we're going to hand this off to them and they're going to decide what they want to do.
Though the officers didn't find anything included in their warrant at the home owned by the primary suspect, the house next door, owned by his parents, has several deer racks in the garage.
There's a picture of that scrub buck rack. You seen that in the corner there?
Yeah.
What is it? What size?
It's a 2x3.
2x3 mule?
Yep. Here, let me just sit this one on the ground.
Officers find a mule deer rack in a chest freezer in the garage. Mule deer are not legal game species in Michigan.
Yellow tag,
Yellow.
Montana?
Yep, Montana.
When we execute search warrants, sometimes we find even more than what we expect to find. Now in this case, Officer Pullum had done his research prior to, and he knew that there were some possible violations in Montana as well. And he was able to tie those in to the Michigan case and contact the Montana Game Wardens and do some follow-up with them. And so he provided them some great information.
For the mule deer that was shot in Montana, the primary suspect was convicted of killing an overlimit of antlered deer and for illegally tagging a buck with someone else's license. He paid $1,050 in fines and court costs, including $500 in restitution for the antlered deer. His hunting, fishing, and trapping privileges were revoked for 24 months. For illegally transferring his Montana license to the primary suspect, the primary suspect's uncle paid a court-ordered fine of $235.
And actually received a call from Montana and the warden that was associated with the case with a huge thank you saying, hey, you pretty much wrapped up a good case for us here.
Evidence is objective. It has its own story to tell. It's not about feelings. It's not about subjectivity. And evidence can prove or disprove. It can be exculpatory too, so it can free the focus of law enforcement on people that did not commit a crime, but helps law enforcement to zero in on those people that are the perpetrators of wildlife crime.
The state of Michigan has approximately 250 conservation officers. Each CO starts as a recruit before becoming a fully commissioned peace officer. One of the many things that recruits are taught during their training is how to properly collect evidence. Both classroom and fieldwork training are necessary for officers to master these skills.
Finally, this is the first time I've seen a flashlight. Excellent. Get that light on the firing pin impressions on the lands and grooves. Just like I was talking about, illumination is a big issue with being able to see it well. I want to see a couple good photos of footwear impressions and tire track impressions. Now, I've laid some tire track impressions down here. I see conservation officers as a little bit different than a general police officer. General police officer is often in a location where he can bring in a lot of resources to help him with a major crime, versus a conservation officer can be in the middle of nowhere and maybe doesn't even have a partner to work with. And so what we're trying to do here in Michigan is we're trying to equip them with the knowledge and the tools to be able to maximize the amount of information and evidence, physical evidence, that they can collect that help them with their investigation and with possible prosecutions.
During training in the classroom, some of the subjects that recruits study are firearms, field ballistics, biological evidence, tissue samples, organ samples, footprints, tire tracks, and photography. In the field training involves analyzing mock crime scenes that simulate what a recruit may encounter as a conservation officer. Recruits are expected to utilize the skills and knowledge they've gained in the classroom, as well as the tools they're provided in their crime scene evidence kits.
You want your hit list to include your suspect vehicle, but not include a lot of other vehicles, basically. Juries and judges and the public now have an expectation of evidence. So it's much more difficult for an officer, a conservation officer, to show up for court and to have to say, I didn't collect any evidence in this investigation. So there's really a public expectation now that evidence is collected.
I don't know anything about that one or that one. They've been there a while.
Approximately 20 Michigan conservation officers are serving warrants at 3 different houses to gather evidence for a case against a suspect who has shot deer without licenses. One house yielded no evidence, and a second house only offered a little. But the third home, one that belongs to the primary suspect's parents, has much for the officers to sift through, including several sets of deer antlers, as well as firearms and bows.
But that freezer's gonna be of interest, and any of these guns that are on top of it, until we can ID them. And there's a ton of racks just sitting right back here. 920 of 16. Old man's.
Old man's day.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's an 8. Got a license on it.
I'm wondering if it's this one. We got this. We got something that looks like it's broke off there.
Yep.
A long one. Is there another point back here that's hiding this one?
Well, and this finger coming out looks like that. And is that a spike that would be consistent with this? It almost looks like it.
Executing a search warrant is a very in-depth process. We have no idea. Like I said, I've not had contact with this individual. I don't know his background. We did take as many precautions as we could by running criminal history checks and seeing what other crimes maybe he had been involved in the past to see if there was a tendency that there could be some type of danger involved. In every search warrant, there's going to be some element of the unknown. Not sure how the person's going to react, the family's going to react.
The parents of the primary suspect arrive at their home while officers are investigating antlers and weapons in their garage.
Basically, we have a search warrant for the residences, reference some wildlife violations. We're looking at just evidence gathering at this point. We're trying to take care of residents the best we can. We obviously are not booting doors or anything like that. We're trying to just access peacefully. We have a warrant for the house next door, here, and then the roadhouse. Are you a hunter?
Heck no.
Oh, there you go. I'm guessing that.
No.
I'm guessing that if you were a hunter, you might know probably why we're here, but otherwise.
Heck no, I'm not.
Conservation Officer Pat Hartzick has come across some unattended fishing lines. He's temporarily left his suspects to check their criminal backgrounds.
They were in their thing eating lunch for an hour. Their holes are froze over where they're fishing, so they weren't watching those lines, and they can't do that.
He was convicted of routine foul hooked fish.
CO Hartzick learns that one suspect does have prior DNR convictions, but he's still inclined to cut them some slack.
One kid should know better. He's been in trouble with the law before, but not for this, so we'll see if they're unaware of it. But everything else they're doing is fine. I'm not gonna write the tickets, we're gonna do a warning on this. When you're not in the shack at the whole time, bring them up, okay? If they're not fishing. I know, you're cold and you want to eat some lunch and you think tip up, because yeah, you can see them, so do that. So lines are up right now, and you guys go back out and you come back in to warm up. Sound reasonable?
Yep.
All right, guys. All right, we'll have fun.
Executing search warrants requires attention to detail and thorough observation and investigation. Around 20 Michigan conservation officers are working together as they collect evidence. In Michigan's District 9, officers are comparing 2 compound bows.
See the color pattern? This definitely looks like a lighter blue color pattern, especially with that light on it.
Yeah.
We're pretty confident this is your bow, plus you got the white in the pattern, plus look up at the scope, or the sights.
Yep.
The sight here is gonna match more closely than the sight that matches here. Okay, so this is the one we want.
Yep.
This one we're gonna probably wanna hand back to Dad.
Yep.
Officer Pullum spent countless hours researching, investigating, talking to people, following up on this, including many hours on search warrants and organizing a ton of resources to catch this one particular individual. But the resources put into it were extensive, and he did a phenomenal job on it.
Dad let me go through his phone, Dad's phone, and there's a picture of another deer that looks identical in the woods at after 10 o'clock at night. I said, what's this deer? Well, I don't know. That's not the same deer. I said, well, what deer is this? And he said, well, I don't know. It's on your phone. You took the picture. You don't remember?
Right.
Officers were never able to make contact with the primary suspect on the day they searched 3 houses. However, they did catch up with him later on, and they've gathered a lot of evidence against him.
He eventually did admit wrong. It wasn't like he fought it till the very end. Yeah, he made some dumb mistakes in not purchasing licenses. He had the money. I don't think that was ever the issue. The issue was he just got greedy.
In this case, the primary suspect was charged with taking $9 without a license. He pled guilty to illegally taking $1 without a license, but paid restitution for all $9. In total, he paid a court-ordered fine of $14,220, including $12,000 in restitution to the state for the $9. He was also sentenced to 45 days in jail or community service, and his hunting privileges were revoked for 5 years. In addition to the suspect, the court-ordered fine for the primary suspect's father and uncle were each $450, along with 6 months of probation and revoked hunting privileges while on probation.